Hey, it's Hunt. You found Hunt on Saints. We're talking black and gold football. Do us a favor. Hit the like button, share your comments below, and hit that subscription button so you can get all of our content. Enjoy. The Saints played a really nice football game on Sunday. They won it 23-13, controlled it from start to finish. They were 17-0 at the half. Did a really good job of getting takeaways, created 4 of those, picked Baker Mayfield off twice, had some pressure on him all day. Derek Carr, I thought, was efficient. Juwan Johnson looked great. And you really controlled a game on the road that I personally did not think the Saints would control. I picked them to get beat by 2 scores, quite frankly, because that's what the evidence suggested. The evidence suggested when you played a team that had a winning record or was in the hunt for the playoffs that you got dusted. The record shows if you play Carolina or the Giants or the Bears, you win. But the Saints played really well, and I'm surprised at the outcome of the game. I am. But it's not a shocking thing because we all know that the Saints do have some good pieces. And they're a capable outfit. It's just not a consistent one. And so while I'm not shocked that they could do it for 3 hours, I'm a little surprised at how infrequently they put together a really good game. They played well against a terrible New England team. They played well against a backup quarterback against Indianapolis. And this was a nice win here against Tampa. And so the discussion is ongoing within Saints fans. It's not about whether or not they're going to take a quarterback in the draft. It's not whether or not they can win the Super Bowl. The question's kind of about the direction of the franchise. And I think there are some people that believe that what happens this coming Sunday has massive implications on the next 2, 3, 4 years of the New Orleans Saints. And I'm not there. And here's why. If you're going to boil down the direction of this team into the direction of this franchise in a 3-hour window in New Orleans where the Saints play the Falcons, and in that same 3-hour window, Tampa playing Carolina. And those 2 results completely dictate the decisions you're making moving forward. That is a horrible way to do business. You got to analyze this thing from every aspect. You don't just look at the record. You don't just look at the division. You don't just look at yes playoffs or no playoffs. You look at how the franchise is operating and what is best to do next. And if you determine that you want to go in a different direction because the Saints go 8-9 as opposed to 9-8, or the Saints go 9-8 and make the playoffs versus the Saints go 9-8 and miss the playoffs, then you're doing it wrong. That's far too little a variance to put that much weight in. I'd rather look at 2 years of a sample size. I'd rather look at 17 games with Derek Carr. I'd rather look at the entirety of the league, not just the crummy little NFC South. And so that's good news, bad news if you're a Saints fan. I think the good news if you're a Saints fan, hell, go out there and beat the garbage Falcons at home and get some help and get in the playoffs. That's more fun. I don't believe that Gail Benson, Dennis Lauscha, and Mickey Loomis will look at this thing and go, well, made the playoffs. That's your decision. I just don't. There's so much more nuance that would go into this decision than just one football game. There's 2 years worth here. That's 34 of them. So don't be afraid if you're a Saints fan that, hey, we really need to lose because I don't want Dennis Allen around anymore. I don't think so. I think there's a real world where you can pull for the Saints, they can win and get in the playoffs, and Saints ownership and the decision makers could also go, we did make the playoffs, went 9-8. That's not that good. We played the worst schedule anyone's ever seen in the modern NFL. The roster is aging. And yeah, we do need to pivot here. We need to do some things very differently. We tried the continuity thing. We tried that with all these players and with the defensive coordinator being elevated to the head coach and with the offensive coordinator's right-hand man being elevated offensive coordinator. And we tried to stay the course. And the result of that is a pair of 500 seasons. And that's not what we strive to be. So yes, we did make the playoffs in this hypothetical. However, it's not good enough. We cannot entrust the franchise with a direction that requires us to play the Bears and Tyson Badgett, Tommy DeVito and the Giants, eking one out against Tennessee with Ryan Tannehill. Like, that can't be the barometer here. We're not just comparing ourselves to Tampa and Carolina and Atlanta. We have to try to compare ourselves to Dallas and Philly and San Francisco. Try to compare yourselves to Detroit right now. Where are you in comparison to the teams that actually matter? Because guess what? Carolina doesn't. So it's way too practical in my head to think that the rest of the people in that organization think wildly different. Like, if I could try to go through the other side of this, like I could try, and I would say, okay, we made the playoffs. We're a winning team. Dennis Allen is one of the best defensive minds in the sport, and we've got him on our sideline. We can tweak the offense, maybe make a change there. Derek Carr has thrown for 3,500 yards in this league. We've got a couple of really young receivers that we like. And you know what? I think there's a real chance with some quality moves in the offseason and a couple of draft picks that we hit on that we go from 9-8 to 11-6. And then we're a real threat. I can try to go through that in my head, but it just sirens go off when I try. Because you're relying way too much on Demario Davis in his mid-30s and Cam Jordan in his mid-30s, and you look over and Ryan Ramczyk may not play again based on Catherine Terrell's article because the injuries have piled up so significantly. Michael Thomas is toast. Kamara is old for that position. Carr doesn't look great. Like, I just can't believe that they would look at 9-8 against that schedule, even if you got in the playoffs and go, I think we're on to something here. That would be wild to me. Wild. So if I'm a Saints fan, put on your black and gold on Sunday. Let's get in the playoffs. I don't think that mortgages the franchise's future. You probably did that with some of the free agent signings. But I don't think that it's going to be the end-all, be-all when decision time comes. That's impractical to me. But I guess we'll see. Really good win on Sunday. Played great. Do that again. You'll beat Atlanta at home. And see if you get some help. Hey, it's on. Thanks for watching Hunt on Saints. Before you leave, help us out a little bit. Hit that like button. Leave your comments in the section below. And hit that subscribe button so you get all our content right here from Hunt on Saints. We'll see you next time.